We're back. Ha! Beat you to it.
Welcome to Entry Points Radio. Every week we share human-curated playlists to break the algorithm. We're going to take a deep dive into new tracks, new humans, and new sounds to fall in love with from around the world. I'm Kate Bass.
And I'm Richie Steighner. We founded Global Music Collective to discover and create new music across boundaries. We've spent the past decade meeting fascinating people in over 50 countries.
These are the real songs and real stories that we share with real people along the way. This is Entry Points Radio. Oh my God, Richie, this is going to be the best day.
It will be the best day.
Today is the best day.
We have
Richie
another friend.
and I
It's not just you and me.
It's not just you and me. It's not. We have actually some really awesome friends. But one of our absolutely coolest friends is joining us in just a few moments. We met in Africa, the three of us, and since then have had many fun, zany adventures all over the world. He's just, believe, one of my favorite people that I worked with in cultural diplomacy, next to you, Richie. And yeah, I'm just really excited. You know, Richie, you should give everyone a little update because you're about to drive across the country to a new home.
We are moving to Los Angeles. My wife she's an actor and a writer, and I am, as you can probably tell, not an amazing actor. I have acted
bad.
before.
Yeah.
You know, I've got some chops. I'm certainly not like, Scorsese's favorite go-to guy, but, I did a Mall and the Night Visitors once in college. Anyways, so we're moving to Los Angeles, and it's the place to be.
I lived in Los Angeles for 5 years. That was a great time. I had a great time living there. You know,
it's a cool city. I think it's not a great city to visit as a tourist, to be really honest. It's hard to get around. The big landmarks are not like what you think they would be. I think it's much better a place for working and networking and living and
totally
once you
agree.
kind of get into the scene there, I feel like it's a better place to be. New York City, I think, is way better for tourism.
Oh, I love New York. Do you know what? I lived in New York for 15 years. Do you know that about me?
I didn't realize it was that long. I knew you lived there.
New York is, the closest place that I would say feels like home next to Alaska, which is kind of funny because I've lived in so many different places since then, and you haven't known me since I lived there. But New York is like one of the most foundational parts of my entire life.
I'm moving to Los Angeles. You have lived in New York City. You live in Austin now. These are all cities that really pride themselves on music. Austin calls themselves the live music capital of the world. New York City is obviously renowned for theater and other music. LA is film and music. Is there a best? I mean, Nashville is probably on the list too. They tout themselves as a big music town. Is there somewhere that's like, this is the music place, or is that changing?
I think that's changing. I don't know. Yeah. It's only been recently that I've been trying to actually get to know Austin. And I will say, I used to kind of scoff at the live music capital of the world title because, I lived in New York, I lived in LA, I lived in Bombay.
It's like world's greatest coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, world's greatest pizza.
Yeah, okay.
You did it!
All the pizza. You did it, yeah.
I have to say, there are things that are really special about Austin's music scene. It's really well supported by the civic infrastructure here, which is, I think, kind of unusual. And the community here, people are really passionate. It's not all just musicians. Anyway, Austin is great. That being said, I don't think any one of those cities can claim the title as best because they're all so different. I mean, New York, I think it's just concentration of excellence. There's so many people there, and there's such a high concentrated of people at the very top of their game. Like, if I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere.
Oh, Kate, I know New York, New York. I am a karaoke winner with that song.
Oh, that's
I'm going to bring it up every
that's
episode now.
He's a karaoke winner.
To fame.
No, I loved New York. I lived there when I sang opera, and I got to achieve my dream of being in a Broadway show. And since leaving New York, I have met the most amazing artists and musicians and theater people. But there's something about just being in a city where everyone's just on top of each other in this little tiny space that makes New York a different kind of magic. But then LA's got this really slick magic. It's so beautiful. Everyone is really good at show business. You know what I mean? It's really impressive. The jazz scene in LA is, I think, almost one of the best I've seen anywhere. And then Austin is so funky and quirky, and it still is. And there's all kinds of interesting new stuff happening here. I've never been to Nashville. You probably know better than me. But I'm sure Carl would want Detroit in this discussion.
That's true. Carl is repping Detroit.
Yeah.
And I did like Nashville. I actually liked Memphis better. We have some friends that are performers in Nashville and a couple of bands that I know that are from there. And it's a good city for music, certainly. But I always felt like Memphis, if you had to go like pick a Tennessee spot, it didn't feel like people were kind of getting pushed out of the city. And Nashville is getting so big and expensive, which is crazy because you think of Nashville, you think of this country spot.
Sometimes I feel like places will become successful, or a vibe of a place will become successful, and then it becomes too monetized, or everyone's trying to play the role. Like New Orleans, what I love about New Orleans is they have an incredible music scene, like Dixie jazz and all kinds of amazing music has come and still comes out of New Orleans. And yet I don't feel like I've ever met someone from New Orleans who seems like they're trying to put on a certain role of like, I'm a New Orleans musician. You know what I mean?
Sorry,
is he
Carl's
here?
calling me.
Oh, okay. He's here. He's here. He's here. He's here.
Yeah, boy.
I made it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world's greatest and most see-through and most traveled and coolest guy we know, DJ Invisible, is in the house.
Wait, Richie, did you say the most see-through? Oh, because he's invisible.
'Cause he's
wow.
invisible.
Okay.
It was super clever. Joke he's never heard before.
Yeah, never at all.
I like
Not
it.
at all.
I mean, I am always game for an invisible joke, at least once or twice a day. I'm the best ones. Yes, indeed. The best ones are when they come from like much older people and they're like, I can't see you. And I'm like, oh, you got me.
Yeah.
You're
Or
not
your eyes.
invisible.
I can't see what's going on. I picked Richie Robot, which usually people ask me to do the robot, and my robot is pretty pathetic. So I either need to learn how to do it or...
I don't know, Richie. I've heard some good robot from you after a couple beers in Austin, Texas. My very cool stage name of Kate Bass. I get largemouth bass a lot, and it fills me with joy every time. It makes me so happy.
That's what people go to. They're like, hey, largemouth bass.
So I have my co-star today. I'm all World Cupped out, as you can tell.
Yeah.
So I brought my co-star. The actual World Cup ball is sitting on.
Forget Wilson.
Yeah,
Does
his
he have
name
a
is
name?
Bali.
Bali.
Bali lives.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So middle of something is.
Okay, so Carl, DJ Invisible, I don't even know where to begin with this person. I remember some really great stories. I remember our safari in Uganda that Carl slept through half of it, and Richie and I were freaking out. And I remember we all put on a performance. Carl and Richie and me put on a performance with these wonderful Ugandan musicians for the U.S. ambassador to Uganda, Ambassador Natalie Brown. Anyway, Carl is extremely famous and successful DJ, and Richie can tell us more about that.
Well, you can see behind him, Exhibit's holding the record, the gold record right behind his head like a halo.
Yeah.
It's
Like a
heavenly. Carl.
Now there's another one over there too. Yeah. Why is
So Carl, DJ Olier, DJ Invisible, he has the key to the city, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
To the city of where?
Of Detroit. This guy has been repping this city longer than Ford itself. And
He's not that old, Richie.
he's not that old. No, I mean, he has just been a luminary and an amazing representative and musician and artist in Detroit for his whole life, basically. This guy has toured and produced and collabed. This guy can act, I've seen it all. I've seen it all from this guy. Now he's touring with D12. He was Exhibit's DJ for a while. He's like, he knows everybody. Everybody knows him. And I got the pleasure to travel with him to a couple different countries: Nigeria, Uganda, Bangladesh. We went to,
Bangladesh, that's right.
and then we had that amazing moment in Thailand. But I mean, where do you stop with this guy? There's so much to talk about. He's toured everywhere. Carl put together an amazing hip hop group called The Invisibles. And it includes some of his amazing crew from Detroit. Ms. Corona, who is this just incredible rapper and producer. She makes her own beats now. She can sing. Kari Kamani Turner, the dude is just, he runs a nonprofit and is a great rapper and writer and performer. And
he
just
wrote
the
the 10 track commandments for the Notorious Big. Like it was like a quiet thing for years. And then that song was used as the 10 dual commandments in Hamilton. So he went from
yeah, we got to go to India, we got to go to Ethiopia and Senegal and Guinea-Bissau on these American Music Abroad tours. And it's been cool working with you.
Like it was dubbed Hiplomacy by this awesome vision of using hip hop to bridge some of these gaps, and it did. Like when you get a chance to travel, you meet all these cool people. Like you guys, I will see you all again. I will definitely see you guys again. But then you see like the relationships that we've been able to make with the foreign artists. Like, that has been like an awesome journey that, unfortunately where the pause button has
been matched and broken.
It'll come back.
It definitely will. But I mean, the still being able to keep up with folks, and like my inbox every day is getting at least one or two songs from somebody that we met somewhere on our journey that put out some music. And when I tell you, like, some of it is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm still traveling with D12. So D12 has a new record that just came out this past week, and it is dope. I was first asked to come in and do a song, and then I had to come back to do cuts on a song with Swift, Kaniva, Exhibit, Be Real from Cypress Hill. Did those cuts. That was the first single called Tear It Down that came out, and we did a music video for it, and it's super dope. Then I went back in the studio and I was like, okay, what's on the agenda today? And it was like me, Method Man, Swift, and Kaniva, and I'm like, let me think about it. I don't know.
I have to check my schedule.
And the song, it came out, it's crazy. Like when you get into the car and you listen to your stuff that you've done and you're proud of it, that is the best feeling in the world. Like I'll be driving home and I'll roll the windows down and play stuff that I'm on, and I'm like proud of it. And it's just a whole different awesome feeling. The cool thing is now, it used to be cool to hear like your song come on the radio, but now that we're our own radio, it doesn't put it in a Spotify playlist on shuffle. Yeah. And then when it comes on, I'm like, oh, that's me. I'm on the radio.
Can you explain what a cut is when you're saying you're doing cuts for these people? What that means?
I'm doing the scratching on the record. So it's funny when you hear people go, ricka, 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 ricka. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing the ricka, ricka, ricka. So I'm manipulating the turntables. Yeah, I scratch records for a living. That is actually, I make noise and scratch records and scream really, really loud and obnoxiously. That is my actual job title. So, my new gig right now. So, like I said, I'm doing the shows with D12. We're doing some touring and getting ready for this record to just blow up and go crazy, so I can retire and put like giant records on the walls with my face on them. But in the meantime, the Detroit Princess Riverboat has been my summer gig for the past 15 years. And it started out where I was just DJing. It was the best DJ gig that was steady. Yeah. So I used to joke that it was my Vegas show. So we're putting 1,000 people on this boat. So they have a Motown band that's on one floor. So they would have 500 people on a floor and then another floor with 400 people. And they would have me start DJing and then flip to the other floor. And I started looking at it like, while people are eating, they don't want a DJ scratching records and playing loud, obnoxious music while they're trying to eat. So I'm like, I'm going to turn this into Carl's Dinner Theater. And I did it as a joke. I created this whole different routine. It's like cruise ship Carl's mixed with Big Bob, the used car salesman. And I go out and I start telling some lightweight dad jokes, and I'm welcoming people to the boat. And I run through the safety protocol on the boat. And then, I put together a hula hoop contest where I've got people hula hooping up and down the floor of the boat. and we go from hula hooping to Whitney Houston
You
challenge.
so much.
And as this is building, I come up with a whole hour's worth of nonsense to do before the band comes to play. I didn't actually DJ. That was the Carl show. I'm goofing off. And they were like, your comedy routine was amazing.
Oh my
And
God.
all of the owner and the manager heard it. So they were like, Carl, we need you to do that. That's your
happening
new
now.
thing.
Oh my
That's
God.
happening. Yeah. And this is last year. So they sprinkled it in here and there. And this year, I am the full-time cruise director on the Detroit Princess Riverboat. It's my dream job. Better than my touring jobs. Like those were awesome in their own way. But this is for once, this is the
God.
Carl
That's cool
show.
because I think as a DJ, your job kind of is to be invisible, to borrow a name. Like you're there to kind of prop up the MCs and the artists that are out front. So you don't maybe ever get the shine maybe that.
No, and that's one thing, like the history of the DJ has changed so much because back in the like 70s and the early 80s, the DJ was the guy. Like he was that guy. And you always hear the DJ names from back then. It was always like DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
DJ Flash, DJ Grandmaster Flash, and then there was this Furious Fire.
Everybody else.
Some other. Of course, of the years, the rappers started to get more popular, and people started to come to hear the rappers rap over the DJ music, and then the DJs kind of started to fall back into the late '90s, where it was like your Puff Daddy and your Dr. Dre, the producers became the big person, and you lost the DJ kind of lost that identity as being the guy. So, which is kind of where DJ Invisible is kind of funny too. And then over the course of the years, my road of entertainment has always been like a hired gun. Like if you need a DJ, that's how I actually got introduced to like the American Music Abroad programs. Somebody called somebody and threw me an alley-oop. And my first AMA trip was went to Pakistan and Madagascar.
Of all places.
And like this, never thought that I would ever go to Pakistan. But when I came back, I traveled with, fresh vanilla beans.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to see, I got a chance to see lemurs in real life. And they didn't sing to me, or King Julian was like totally not there, but they're like real animals. So,
Where did that go?
The ability, I don't know. Yeah, I'm on yellow glasses. Anything could happen.
That's right.
Yeah, the ability to travel with, the American Music Abroad programs, it was a totally different space because you actually get the chance to see stuff.
Yeah.
So these programs that Carl's talking about, just for people who might not know listening, this is how Richie and I met each other. This was the way that all three of us met each other. And a lot of people haven't heard of cultural diplomacy. And actually, Richie, you talked about this, I think, last week or something, but about the Jazz Ambassadors program with Louis Armstrong.
This started, I believe it was 57.
Yeah.
50, okay.
Or 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
anyway,
it was around there. It was some serious racial issues that were just starting to be internationally publicized issues. And people were like, as these musicians are traveling, people are asking them how they're representing their country, and they're being, oppressed back at home. So that was a tough time for those people, for those musicians to travel.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The program has over time become, it's taken so many different forms. My impression of the idea behind it was to send artists out into the world to represent America, and all of the artists, of course, who did it. I think we were more excited just to be artists and to connect with other people, and that in itself became a form of diplomacy, because I think that the act of people in other countries getting to actually just meet artists, and we have a different way of communicating with people, we have a different way of connecting with people. I think there's a really interesting history about how artists have actually influenced major geopolitical events. Whether consciously or unconsciously, culture is a very powerful force. So anyway, I just wanted to say really quickly, when we're talking about AMA and when we're talking about Arts Envoy and all these programs, the U.S. government for many, 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 many years gave millions of dollars towards these programs that would send artists of different genres, different backgrounds, all abroad to get to connect with other artists around the world and represent America culturally. So that's how we all met. That's how Global Music Collective even was inspired and formed. So that's my boring insert, but I feel like people should know.
Right.
You should
People
know
should
it.
know.
It should come back. I like it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just inside,
Yeah. I don't
internal
know.
stuff.
As I am sitting here looking like the American flag.
Well, I mean, it is almost the 4th of July, so it's almost. And I'm wearing red. Richie's
All that, and
I like
Bali is sitting
Man
there
of the world.
representing the. What's
Back
up,
to
Bali?
Bali.
You're so into Bali, Carl.
Bali is represent. I mean, the world is in its interesting situation right now. There's all this other political stuff going on. It feels really good watching the World Cup stuff because it's all positive. It's watching the people at the games, and you see people from all over the world, and like the fans are high-fiving. And soccer to me is crazy because either team that you're on, you have a respect for something that the other players may do. Like Cristiano Ronaldo scored a goal, and players from the other team, and fans from each team are high-fiving each other because it's really cool. I think that, let me bring it back to music. Music is an awesome unifier. Like,
Totally.
it feels good to be able to wear my flag stuff and represent and be proud of where I'm from, which was another great feeling that we always had getting a chance to travel abroad. Like, proud to be American. Like, this is cool, and I'm able to do this and show off what I got. So,
Absolutely.
We were talking about this yesterday, the whole proud to be, or not yesterday, for our last podcast. We were talking about this proud to be American thing. I was saying I've been really impressed since I just moved back from India about a little less than a year ago.
come home.
Thank you. And it's funny, I've been a little bit like I was living abroad. I was really enjoying the jet-setting worldly life and all this. And now I'm back in Austin, Texas. And when I first came back, all of these people were saying to me like, oh, why did you come back? And I kept being like, honestly, like, I really like the U.S. I'm happy to be back. I don't know, like, I love all the other countries I've been to, and it's not, I see the problems. And I think that the interesting thing here to me is that the U.S., of course, we have plenty of problems, historical problems, current problems, social problems, economic problems, whatever. It doesn't even have to be political. But I don't know. That doesn't mean that there aren't also great things. And there's so much that I love about the U.S. that I wish more people inside and outside of the U.S. saw more of what actually makes the U.S. special, because I think a lot of what people see is just, the Kardashians and Taco Bell or whatever. And, Richie and I were just talking about how fun it's been seeing even these videos on Instagram of European tourists who so often just like to talk smack about the yokel Americans. And all of a sudden they're here and they're like, they can't get enough ranch dressing and... it's like, we're not that bad. There's a lot of great things about. Yeah.
No, and that's one thing that I really enjoy. It was when people I enjoy defending the United States, and as a person of color, it is always looked at sideways. It's like I'm like, yes, the history of the country, roller coaster ride, right? 100% roller coaster ride. But this is still where I was born. This is where I'm from. Half my family is Native American. The other half is of African descent. So the Native American side of the family, this is, years and years, like since the dawn of time, the funny thing is the last name is Adams. Since the dawn of time, the Adams family.
The Adams family.
I have a Native American name, but no one calls me that. It's just. But
what is it?
I have a tribe, Chutsi.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but the cool thing is like, that's me. That's where I'm from here. Like, I love traveling. It is really cool to go see the Eiffel Tower. It is really cool to travel. Like, we were on the Nile River. Like,
yeah. Oh my God.
As kids that grew up in the United States, we were given books to read, and there was history, and we actually had geography that we had to learn. And during those times, we were learning about the Nile River. We were learning about the Eiffel Tower and all these amazing waterfalls and really cool things in the equator. Like, there was a globe in every classroom, right?
Wait. I just have to say, we all went to the equator. The three of us went to the equator together. And I remember being like, I don't want to go to the equator. It was our one day off. I just wanted to relax. And Carl, our dear friend Tootsie over here, said to me, he said, don't ever take your time for granted. Just because you feel like you're going to come back here.
Wow.
Yeah, you did. You were like, just because you feel like... Carl said to me, just because you feel like you're going to come back to Uganda and you'll have another chance to see the equator, this is the only time in our lives that we're going to be able to go at this moment right now with each other in this way. Just come. And I did, and we had an amazing day. Anyway, back to what you were saying.
Every 10 years, I'll say something really profound. And
It was a profound.
I haven't said anything smart since I was No, but that's real. Like, a lot of people that I've traveled with, they will go to a hotel, do a show, go back to the hotel, take a nap, and then keep it moving to the next city. And I've had to do that too.
You were right. You never know.
Yeah. No,
Anyway,
that is really
we should
cool.
jump into our playlists, don't you think, Richie?
We should. I'm still thinking about the $10 we had to pay to watch the guy spin a flower on both sides.
Oh my goodness.
So let's start with Richie.
All right, here is my playlist. So, I got 10 songs.
All right.
Yeah, Van Halen, clearly
Van Halen
not
and
like...
Mos Def.
Yeah, Mathematics, that that sort of time frame of hip-hop is getting a little older now, and so I think there's some people that don't know that stuff. And we were talking about producers and DJs, and I think DJ Premier, who is the one that made the beat for this, is worth referencing. So that's in there. Yeah, Van Halen, obviously known for like their influence on rock and roll, and this song I tried to pick one that's a little different.
I want to know Carl's reaction. First thing. What songs on here do you know and what do you not know?
So I like the M83 outro.
Yeah,
Which is funny.
You were just playing some M83.
I leaned into my phone, and on my spot, Midnight City is one of my favorite songs.
Yes,
That
same
always-
album and everything.
Yeah. Now I love Mos Def. He's his personality. I love his acting skills. He's one of those people that's like a utility knife of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And that is super dope.
What's this Rustavi choir Georgian voices? You went there. I'm excited. What's this?
I went Mos Def to the Rustavi Georgian choir.
That's a playlist I'd listen to.
All right, so let's start there. We got to do, this was an American Music Abroad tour that we did with our a cappella group. I was the beatboxer. All of our stuff was like covers of pop songs. And we went to Georgia, which is also a country. It's a state in the U.S. It is a country. So we actually did this version of Georgia on my mind, like this beautiful a cappella version. We would do it off mic. We would put the microphones down and sing it. It was usually like this beautiful moment in our song or in our set. And we thought this is going to be hilarious. We were going to say, Georgia, this song, you guys will know this. This one's called Georgia. You're going to love this. And so we rolled out there thinking this is going to be a hilarious joke. And we said, here it is for you, Georgia, thinking they're going to scream and yell. And they were like, all right. The joke didn't land. We learned later that in Georgia, the name of the country is Sakartvelo.
Oh.
So Sakartvelo on my mind doesn't really roll off the tongue as well.
I didn't know that.
Unfortunately, yeah. So we thought we were real clever with that one. So as an a cappella group, the number one thing, anytime we do a workshop with people, is usually just to get people to sing louder. It's so frustrating to hear people sing like, Georgia, Georgia, the whole night. It's so quiet, and you're like, there's no power, there's no oomph, you can't express anything. And then when we went to Georgia, it was like decibels louder than the five of us. This particular song, it's like a 3-person harmony, and once you get like 30 seconds into it, it's this huge drop of, it's this amazing like 3-person harmony, and it's really cool. And then when you're in person and you hear these people just singing at the top of their lungs, full power, it's a really cool experience. So
That's awesome.
Mos Def into Rustavi
I'm
choir
into
of
it.
Sakartvelo is my
I'm into it.
jam.
Now you're going to have me thinking anytime I go to another country, like we say it one way and it's actually pronounced something totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah, and you're going to be
That's
it's
right.
the equivalent of "Good night, Cleveland." And they're like, we don't know what is happening here. What are you talking about?
Like, this is Miami, first
Right.
of
First off.
all.
Why do you have Hakuna Matata in there? What's this about? There's got to be a story.
So this is not a Lion King reference. So this in my searches for this group, I actually couldn't find them at all. This is as close as I found. There's a sample of this group on here, and Carl was talking about Madagascar. This actually is referencing a group from Madagascar. We got to go there and do an Arts Envoy tour. It was me and two other guys.
Oh, the acapella?
Freedom's Boombox. Yep. It was me, Alfredo Austin, and Chris Diaz. We are the loudest three people you ever met. And they basically, there are a group of 8 boys who they're either unhoused or close to it. They're in Madagascar. There's just like not a lot of money, and the way that them and their families made money is these 8 boys would just go out on the street all day and sing top of their lungs, and it's amazing. It's really cool and incredible. And so the embassy, while we were there, put together this program where we get to record them. We put them on stage with us, and they crushed it. Like they outshined us. It was their show after we went on stage, and it was really cool. So I was trying to find them. They are, it's called Zaza Canto, or the Boys of Tana. I couldn't find them online, but this guy, Bruno Watts, I don't know how he got a sample of them, but he put it into this song, Hakuna Matata, and this is as close as I could get. So,
okay, awesome.
I can't find them anywhere. That's maybe part of the challenge of doing songs that are off the algorithm, is some of them are literally off of
everything.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So when you listen to that song, which by the way, if you're listening for the first time, go to our Substack or Patreon. So after you listen to us talk about it, you can go play the songs, which I think is kind of cool.
And I haven't gotten around to it yet because we've got a lot that we're doing right now, but it might be worth seeing if someone like this group has their music up on Bandcamp or somewhere else, that even if it can't go on the playlist, at least we can share the link so people can
That's a good point.
find it that way.
They are on Bandcamp. We actually have some YouTube videos of the show that we did with them, and it actually made it onto CBS. They covered our tour with them, and so there's some stuff we can share, but it's not on the playlist proper.
Right.
But
all right. Well, we'll throw that on our Substack when
Chuck it on our Substack. Yeah. Hit subscribe. I'm gonna jump up to Tigi, which is it's by this guy group named Sands, which we got to listen to at the Bushfire tour. This was another experience with an embassy official, and we went over to the deputy, and she had us over with all these other local influential people to talk about music when we went out there for a tour in Eswatini. And she put this song on, and immediately it was everybody got down, was bum, 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 bum. It was
awesome.
There are a few songs in the world where as soon as you hit it, it's people just start wiggling and start moving.
What does Eswatini look like? What did the environment look like when you were there?
It's right around South Africa, so it's kind of got the I don't know how to say geography stuff. We did all this things out there. But low plain, prairie plain, savanna plain. I don't know what the words are. It's pretty. It's beautiful. I think when you think of Africa, you just assume it's 1,000,000 degrees, but it's a temperate, lovely climate. We were there when it was warm. There's lovely grasses in the hills, and I really liked Eswatini. It used to be called Swaziland, and then they renamed it Eswatini. But yeah, it was a cool place to visit. And they do this amazing festival called Bushfire, where they bring in all these bands. Most of them are from sort of the southern half of Africa and around. They brought in an American a cappella group for whatever reason. But
I was just thinking that.
It was so cool. It's kind of like Burning Man. There's just 3 or 4 days of people come out and camp, and they have a couple of huge stages, and you just get to rock out and do some music. We did some other collabs while we were there, but
that's
anyway.
Cool.
I love that. Is one thing that I really love about some of the cultural exchange touring that we've gotten a chance to do. Hearing about festivals like that, are awesome. A festival, nobody else that you know of is going to have that opportunity. Right. Where were you at? I was in Eswatini, that used to be Swaziland, and now it is this beautiful place where they have a festival. That's probably a festival that has been going on and is still happening, and you got a chance to rock it.
Yeah.
Y'all, we should start a tour company. You know what I mean? Like our
Oh my
weird
goodness.
places we've discovered in our music travels.
Yeah, I was trying to tell
I would pay
somebody.
for that.
People would like. I was trying to explain. Like somebody was running through my social media and was like, "Oh my God, you had a flat tire on the Pamir Highway," and I was like, "Yeah." And then I went on into the story, and you start telling these stories, and the memories come back, and the details are crazy. Like I played the Roof of the World Festival, and the Roof of the World Festival was in Tajikistan. And
Yes.
yeah, and you fly in, and it's a former Russian situation, and everything looks a little, like stereotypical. All the buildings look alike, and then now that it's Tajikistan proper, and they're starting to build, and things are getting nicer and fancier, and the different lighting is going up, and you stay in this really cool place, and then they drive you 2 days up into the mountains, and you're driving right next to Afghanistan, and you're looking over the river, and it's like, oh yeah, what's that right there? And they're like, oh yeah, that's the Taliban, and you're like,
I've heard of them.
right, all right, cool.
Taliban.
And you're driving, and then you get to a certain point, they're like, we're gonna camp out overnight at this really nice hotel that the power goes out at 4 a.m., but that's okay.
It's normal.
We're gonna leave at 4:30 and head up because we have to get there before the checkpoints close, and the Chinese are going to be bombing some of the roads to build highways and expand the roads, so that we got to get through before the explosions go off. And you're like, oh, okay, that sounds all normal. And then you start driving up the mountain a little bit farther, and as you drive up the mountain a little bit further, that river that looked like it was a mile has turned into 100 yards away there's a gun turret sitting there, and on the other side is one facing back, and there's a Taliban camp that you see the guys sitting outside playing soccer. And as you're cruising by, they're waving at you, and you can see their faces, and like, is this safe? And they're like, yeah, there hasn't been an incident in like less than a year.
Oh, I remember that line. There hasn't been an incident.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And people
Yeah.
people will say things like that. Oh, it's been less than a year, which could have been yesterday. It could have been yesterday. It's less than a year.
You
And they're
didn't
like,
answer
"Nah,
my
nah.
question.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine." And I am the one of two Americans in the entire place. The other act that was supposed to close the night out canceled. So they decided, since I'm the American, I'm the headliner of the entire festival now. And these are all like, this guy's a rock star in Russia. This guy's the most famous entertainer ever to come out of Tajikistan, and he's going on before me. So I'm in Tajikistan, and I have the most famous entertainer ever to come out of Tajikistan, and he's singing songs in their language. They all know him. A couple thousand people out there, and they're all singing along. It looked like a baby Woodstock. There's a stage as far as you can see, all up into the hill. There's people singing this guy's songs, and I'm like, oh well, Carl, this is where you train wreck and crash out in Tajikistan.
This is it.
You have to follow this. I'm like, oh my goodness. So that festival to me has put my career in a whole different light. Like, I went on and I walked off stage having absolutely no energy left. I am pulling Miss Tajikistan on stage, trying to get everything possible I can get out of my performance.
All the stops.
All of it. I'm singing Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm hands in the air. People are jumping around. I'm bringing kids on stage, holding them up to the Pride Lands. I'm everything possible. I'm like, I could do this. Keep going. And then I played for an hour. I come off stage, and the lady was like, that was amazing. You only really had to play 15 minutes.
Like, we were trying to pull you up.
What? And they were happy that I played. They were really happy I played an hour. But several people I talked to were like, we only had you, because when we threw you there, we didn't think that you could go that long. You only had to play 15 minutes. But yeah, those festivals are like, the amount of energy that you have in these smaller festivals, the smaller cultural festivals, like, this is the people's entertainment. They didn't have to pay to get in. They chose to go, not knowing necessarily what they were going to see. So
We've been talking about this a lot, Carl, though, is that this kind of, first of all, there's so much all over the world, right? Obviously, there's so many festivals and we were just talking last week about some celebrities from other countries that, outside of their country are largely unknown. But it's also, it's so humbling. I think, like, we live in our world where we think this person's a celebrity, and I was talking with a friend of mine recently who's like played stadiums with this really, really famous rock band, and he was talking about just coming back from tour and being like, don't let it get to your head, blah blah blah. And anyway, we were just talking about how like it's so funny because you take someone out of their world in which they are the celebrity, and it's fascinating to me, this idea of celebrity, because in the end the things that impact us the most and that are the most memorable in our lives, they're so rarely the big name, big ticket things, I mean, sometimes it is, but even when it is the big name, big ticket thing, it's usually because we've had some incredibly personal, intimate experience that connects it to that. But I just think it's so interesting. I would pay so much more money to go see the Top of the World Festival and hear who this singer is than I would pay to Beyonce. I would definitely pay a lot of money to see Beyonce.
That's a good show.
But you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of another really, really famous pop idol. If I had a choice, okay, fine. Even between Beyonce, if someone was like, you can either take a ticket to see Beyonce perform at this big arena, or I'll give you a ticket to go to the Top of the World Festival and hear this celebrity in Tajikistan. I'm sorry. I love Beyonce. I respect everything about her, but I would go to Tajikistan.
Yeah. The thing is like the Beyonce show is kind of like, what you're going to get. The Beyonce show, you're going to have lights and you're going to have there's a different energy because of the electronics that are able to be there. Yeah. The Roof of the World had a cool stage with the backdrop was zip tied up that said Roof of the World Festival. They had a small LED screen, and the entertainment was what won. Like, I have a video that plays behind me when I'm doing arena shows, and it is a well-produced video with images of me and, lights and really cool stuff that will distract you from the fact that I might not always be doing something cool. I might just be playing a song and getting ready for next thing to happen. And like the Beyonce show, Beyonce is going to go hard in the paint for 10 minutes, walk off the stage, get some electrolytes and some water, and, touch her makeup up, and her dancers are going to go hard in the paint. But at these shows where you have a festival where you have that guy or that lady, and they are doing nothing but using the talents that they have to entertain the people for that 45 minutes to an hour. To me, that started to become a little bit more special when you just get to see the raw talent. And then on top of that, these people know these songs by word of mouth or their friends and family, and the elders singing the songs and telling them who sang the song. So the kids that are going, you have a 10-year-old kid that doesn't have access to the internet, that comes to a show outside that their family traveled, don't know how they got there or how they traveled to get there, but they traveled to get to this show, and the kids know the songs because their parents have passed it down. Seeing as that is still a thing in this day and age, that made it really special.
It just all goes back to this whole, it's about things that are real. And I think, Richie was talking recently about the AI stuff, and not to go into AI, but I've found a lot of interesting possibilities in where technology is going. One thing I love about what's happening with technology is people are starting to realize more and more how much we actually like imperfection, and we actually like just connecting with each other. And everyone's talking about the World Cup because people are connecting with each other and having fun. And Beyonce can have this perfect face and the sound can be perfect. They don't want any mistakes so that everyone can get the perfect show. But in the end, do we want the perfect show? If you got to see Beyonce after a couple beers sitting outside at the Top of the World Festival and she thinks no one's watching, that would be so much more compelling.
That would be fun.
I don't know. I'm into it. Anyway, I'm Richie. There what else is
Richie?
What else we got here?
You made it 3 songs before you got interrupted.
Maybe we should just do 3 songs each.
Nobody wants old Rich's list.
Keep going.
No. I feel like a DJ. It's my first time. I'm like, oh, dude, you guys want to hear my songs? Oh no, there's a lot of good segues in there, and we got to go to a former Soviet country as well, in Azerbaijan. And that second one on there is called Sena de Kalmaz. We got to work with like their local rock star. His name was Kamran Sailor Latifov. Ooh. And we got to cover this song with him on stage. Of course, he's not on Spotify, and of course, I can't find him anywhere. But he like won Azeri Idol.
Oh wow!
oh.
Yeah.
It reminded me of a story where we went on Space TV, it was their news channel, and they had us come and do like some press for the tour. But they were like, we're only going to film for like 3 or 4 hours. And we're like, wait, I'm sorry, what?
Whoa.
Most interviews are like, a 10-minute spot, maybe a half hour. So we sat there on live news for like 4 hours, just there.
Jeez.
And they would interview us. And there was this guy that came out with an accordion, and they're like, you should, gesture, like, you should sing with him. And I was like, all right, I'll beatbox with him. And he does. So for like the next 7 minutes, there was an accordion track that played. He didn't even play it, but he just like mimed the accordion. And then I just beatboxed like for like 7 minutes. Like, this is great
what
TV.
I'd pay millions for.
Mhm.
Great TV. But
I wanna
anyway,
see
so
that.
yeah,
That's amazing. Can you find that video somewhere?
I'm sure it's on the internet. So I think I've found it
Please
before.
do the
but-
research so we can post
Yeah.
that in our Substack.
Yeah, you can see after 3.5 hours, the whole group was like, can we go now? But anyway, so Senede Kalmaz is like this. It's like you said, Carl, it's like a song that they've known in Azerbaijan for generations, and it's been passed on and like done by these famous artists and made famous again. And when we sang it with camera, like, it was such a big hit for us to sing Senede Kalmaz, and we didn't speak the language, but we knew enough to say that. They're like, you've done us this great.
Which is always funny when you get a chance to sing songs, you have no idea what they're saying. We could be
That's right.
we could be big up in grammar, or we are cussing out the entire community.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these like folk songs are like, we have rebelled against the tyrant of the, and you're like, oh, I didn't know I was like siding with you.
Right,
This is a
I
public
can't go home now.
diplomacy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My passport's been blocked.
Yeah, who's not getting on the plane? This guy right here.
It's
Yeah.
up at number 1, I have Augenbling. It's got the coolest hook. It's in German. It's like, when your eyes shine, everything is forgotten. It's Deine Augen machen bling bling und alles ist vergessen. And it's this like cool kind of dance hall song.
Alles ist vergessen.
It's great. And Germany, I don't know why, I'm sure there's some history behind this, but Germany has an amazing Jamaican dance hall culture, especially in Berlin. There's
Berlin
a lot
clubs.
of great reggae. Yeah,
It's the ska music kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and the first time we went there, we went to a reggae show, and I was like, this is not what I expected in Germany at all. But Seed is, they were huge out like 10 years ago, maybe, out there, and we, on our tours in Germany, like, we'd not shut up. We would sing the song constantly. So made the list. Breathing Underwater, Metric is I just like them, and this song is like, anytime it's like a female vocalist with some like big guitars and big choruses that just hit and grow and grow and grow, I'm so into it. Maytree,
I always wanted to be that. I always wanted to be that lady. You know, like the Portishead lady, or the, who just sings like this, and then there's like really cool sounds behind her, and so you get to be a rock star even though you're just, anyway.
Oh, well, there's still time.
I love it.
Carl left. Maytree they're an a cappella group. They are from Korea. They've actually like blown up since we met them for the first time. We knew them before they were cool.
Yeah.
They started doing like covers, like the Windows opening sound, like Squid Game. They did all of those kind of like little covers a cappella, and like they blew up. But they were great. They drank us all under the table. We thought we were, we thought we could hang with them, but yeah, I don't know, something about
Good
Korean
times.
alcohol.
Korean
and-
acapella. Korean alcohol.
Well, they sing so sweet. They're like,
Alcapella.
Alcapella.
There it is.
We got
Yep.
there.
we got them.
We made it. We got there, Kate.
We got that. Yeah, they sing so like quietly and on pitch and perfectly, and it's like da, 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 da. It's so subtle and thoughtful, and then they just drink you under the table. It's
Nice.
We thought we had them, but they got us. Down to Ice Cream Man. It's just the other track. It's a cover, but Ice Cream Man is like this I don't know. When I first heard it, I was just driving in my car, and it hits the moment where they hit the guitar part in it, and it's amazing. And it's not a song I'd ever heard from Van Halen. You've heard everything else from them, but Ice Cream
Oh, that's
Man.
awesome.
Yeah, you got to check it out. And then M83, I got obsessed with them with traveling. It's perfect travel music, and it's huge, and it's cinematic and funky. And this has been out for 15 years now, and now it's starting to pop back up on Reels, and people put it on there.
Is it really? Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
I've seen it a few times now.
I used to love them too.
Commercial. It's like the perfect commercial music too. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I've
their
always
catalog is going to live forever because of commercials. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just easy, fun music.
It
Yeah.
is.
Right.
It is.
Yeah. It's
And I
just
loved
well
it.
done too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So that is my list. Thank
Richie's
you
list!
very much. Farm. All right, do you want to do your playlist now? Or what?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, week 3 playlist from Kate Bass. Hey. Okay.
So what deeply okay, I know we're not supposed to play clips on our podcast. But
You can try it. See if
can
we
I
get
try?
banned.
Because I need you to hear. I don't think Richie remembers this
Leela.
first song. Do you know what it is, Richie? Do you recognize that song? Carl doesn't because he was asleep.
Was that during our safari?
Okay. That song, Oliwa by Aroma Music. We went on a
Aroma
safari.
music. I love it.
The great DJ Invisible, the great Richard Robot, and me, Kate Bass, went on a safari with our friend Mia Stallone.
The goat.
When we were doing a program. The goat. We had a flat tire also. I don't know if you guys remember when we were coming back in the middle of like northern Uganda. And our safari driver, who I believe his name was Arnold,
Arnold
he had a
Arnold
mixtape
Eagle Power.
I do remember
that
that.
had 2 songs. It had 2 songs on it. And it was about a 9-hour drive to get up to whatever park we went to and 9-hour drive back. And Carl was asleep for
So
most of the
relaxing.
drive.
So relaxed.
He was very, very relaxed. Richie and I were wide awake talking about, like, wanting to create cross-cultural global music programs and stuff.
Yeah.
And here we are. It was a very special time. It was the formation of our friendship. But that song, Oliwa, played on loop for 9 hours. And Richie and I would sit there and it would be like, doot, 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 doot. Doot, 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 doot. Carl, do you remember this
I
song?
do
Does it come
remember,
back?
Because every time, right, I do remember that because we had several other songs that we were creating in between. Because there was a song about like trash fires or something. Yeah, the song was getting remixed.
Oh yeah, the trash fire,
Yeah.
roadside fire,
The roadside fire. There
roadside fire.
there was so
I
many
believe
things.
is the
There
tune.
was so much time.
Yeah. Just so much time,
So much
just in a car,
Yeah.
kind of hot, just a hot van. Yeah. with it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's Oliwa. I had to bring that out for you guys. I wouldn't say I know anything else about the song. I've just heard it more than most human beings probably on the planet have heard that song other than Arnold, our safari guide, who has 2 songs on his playlist.
He may have it stuck in his CD player, just like you have Queen.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
So maybe
actually, it's
that's-
very much like
That's
that.
probably
You're
what
totally
it was.
right.
That was just something that was just stuck, and he just didn't mention the fact that it was stuck. Maybe they won't realize that this is the only thing playing.
The only-
9 hours
Oh
later.
my god.
They seem to be
That was
having
good
fun.
Okay, so I'm just going to say for the rest of my list, for a lot of it actually, I really leaned in. So when I met Carl and Richie, but I think I already kind of knew Richie a little bit better at this point, Carl was very excited about the fact that I was an opera singer. And for those of you listening to our podcast who don't know who I am originally a trained opera singer. I performed as a professional opera singer for a very large portion of my life. I also performed on Broadway. And those things, to me, when hanging out with 2 hip hop guys who have like toured the world with these big name, hip hop artists like Method Man, I felt like such a nerd. I thought that it was really boring and uncool. And so anyway, Carl kept saying over and over again how he thought it was interesting. He thought it was unique. He was so intrigued by it. It's taken me a very long time to finally kind of come around and be like, yes, not only do I love opera, but it is cool, and I want to tell you guys about why. So the track that I have on my playlist is not the kind of track that people are going to be listening to these playlists driving down the highway and all of a sudden just like rocking out to, Si mi chiamano Mimi from La Boheme. But it is one of the most famous opera arias ever. Do either of you know it? Do either of you know La Boheme?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Richie?
Yeah, sure.
Carl's
Yeah.
lying. He's such a liar. You've got your sunglasses, so I didn't get it. Okay. Do you guys know the Broadway musical Rent?
Yes.
I've heard of it. Yes.
Okay. So Rent was based on the story of La Boheme. It was like a modern retelling of La Boheme. La Boheme was an opera written by Puccini in Italy many, many, many years ago. And it's about a group of artists who are living like bohemians. They're all poor. They're all living, I think at least one of them dies of, what was it that everyone died of? Consumption.
Oh.
Consumption.
Yeah.
Ow.
Throw in a consumption joke. Anyway, but so it's actually a really kind of amazing opera, and it's a beautiful story. It's just about different artists trying to live and live in their best lives in these circumstances that you would assume are not romantic, but it's deeply romantic the way that the opera's written. So anyway, this aria is one of my favorite opera arias of all time. The lyrics in it, it's a woman who's introducing herself to this guy, and she's saying, like, my name's Mimi, but it's actually not Mimi. They just all call me Mimi. It's actually Lucia is her real name. And she just starts telling him about her life. She lives in this tiny little rooftop apartment. She's very poor, but there's this beautiful part of the aria where she says, I live in this, like, just alone in this little room, but when the sun rises, I get the first rays of the sunshine. And it's just one of the most powerful moments to me as a singer, because it's this, like, yeah, we're artists. We live these weird lives, but we get to experience things like the Roof of the World Festival in Tajikistan. And, we're like talking about our crazy stories with our tires going out in Uganda. And I guess every time I hear that line, I feel this deep pride of, you know what, we work really hard and we should be making a lot more money than we are for what we do. And I don't know, I guess I feel kind of like when I hear things like that and I remember all of the beauty that I get to have of being an artist, that's what's so powerful. So anyway, I know I just like totally brought, nobody's beering me over this, but thank you, Carl. But the other thing I just wanted to say about this aria is I hope you both actually sit and listen to it. And when you listen to it, I hope you just turn on your nice speakers and just actually sit and listen to the whole aria. Don't distract yourself, just listen. What affects me so much about opera is the way that the human voice is capable of sounding and the incredible work that it takes to be able to sing like this. There's no auto-tune, there's no microphones, there's no manipulation of any kind of the sound that's coming out of this woman's mouth. Morella Freni is a very, very famous opera singer from back when they were just recording vinyl records. And when you listen to her voice sing in this recording and you hear her high notes, it's like, just try yourselves. Just try really quickly. Try going, woo!
Woo!
Woo! Okay, when you sing a high note as an opera singer, you take that high part, when you go, woo! The high part, and you hold it. Woo! Like, that's how you make the high note. And it's not pretty when we do it as humans, right? Like, it's ugly, it's scratchy, it sounds crazy. When you hear her sing high notes in that opera, it's like one of the most incredible things I've ever heard a human voice do. So,
which is why, Kate, I was trying to explain to you how it is so cool, because in the normal person's world, we don't run into people that have the talent that opera singers have. It is a very special talent, and to hear someone explain another opera singer's talent and then just give us that quick, like, say woo, and I'm like, woo, whatever, and then to explain to somebody, like, the highest note that you just hit, that person can sustain and make it
and
sound
vibrate.
good. Because Richie, basically, she said, Carl, you suck as a high note singer. But listen to her, like, you hit a high note and it sounded bad. Listen to it sung right for a long time.
Yeah, good, nice try, but
nice try. But listen to it.
Leave it to her.
No, yes.
Well, and that's interesting, Carl, because even me just explaining to you guys the opera aria, everyone's very quiet and attentive. And I think there's something about that for me, having grown up as an opera singer, that makes me feel like it must not be fun. It must not be exciting. Like everything else that we love is fast paced and loud and fun and it's partying and people get into it. And opera, you have to sit and listen and it's talking about all these techniques. And I don't know. I just wish that we all understood that there are so many different kinds of music and different ways to enjoy different kinds of music. And sometimes I wake up in the morning and I want to dance. And sometimes I wake up in the morning and I want to listen to soft, quiet music and reflect at the rain falling outside. And one thing I've always loved about the two of you is that you guys are the same. You know, like I've known.
Way.
Yeah, in every way.
Every single way.
But yeah, I guess I feel like here we are, we're doing this podcast, we're talking about different styles of music. I found myself in trying to create my playlist for our episode we're going to do with Carl. I wanted to put on all my cool songs to be like, yeah, look, Carl, look, you'll get this. And then I was like, no, Carl probably wants to hear about opera.
No, and
Probably
the cool
wants
thing
to,
is
like-
you have just explained why AI will not take over 100% of the ability for me to be a DJ. The
Yeah.
AI does not know what or
Mhm.
does not know how to read people's emotions. So, like, it may be an overcast day. And yes, AI may know that it's going to be an overcast day, so you want to play gloomy songs. But there are still songs that will pull an emotion out of somebody depending upon other factors. Like, you know, it's just, you have just explained why I will continue to work. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
indeed.
welcome.
Thank you. I'm going to take that clip and play it for people. You know,
Yeah.
AI is getting so much better in the DJ world of being able to blend songs together, but to curate the emotions of an event.
And I have to say, last year, both Richie and me got really deep in playing around with deep tech and learning. You know, I learned how to code in Python. And what's really turned me off from the whole thing isn't like I was saying earlier, it's not the possibilities. Like the possibilities are still there, but it's being used now just to like optimize everything and to take the place of what humans are good at. And I think that's where I stopped. That's where I lost interest. I haven't been coding in months. So AI can understand and approximate what it is that we like, but these personal, intimate understandings
Right.
of other humans, there's so many nuances to all of us. Anyway, I agree with you, Carl.
Now, yeah, and just hearing you explain opera, I think music is amazing. All different genres of music are amazing. And personally, like, my parents listened to a little bit of everything when I was growing up, so I've been exposed to a lot more than most. But the opera aspect of it has always intrigued me because it is a form of music that is so vocal, and you have the ability to contort your voice in so many ways and hold those notes. That's
Yeah.
like,
So there's a moment in this aria where she hits one of those high notes and she sings it so quietly. And it's so beautiful. And as an opera singer, knowing the amount of technical training and you know work that goes into it is so impressive. But what I also find so beautiful about opera is it was written in a time when that was our form of entertainment, and at least in the West. And these were stories that they're telling. And so the moment when she sings quiet is when she says the word le primavera, the springtime. It's like this moment of tender beauty. And the mix of the fact that she's singing this incredibly high note and she's singing it quiet because she's talking about this like tender, intimate moment. What I wish more people could learn about is why the orchestra swells when it does and why the lines are written the way they are. And yeah, I'm glad you like it. All of these things can exist and be wonderful. It doesn't have to be always cool all the time. And I think I've learned that lesson from both of you. So anyway, that's my opera spiel.
Even though we're cool
all the time. Wake up in the
All the
morning,
time.
cool. Go to bed at night, cool.
Cool.
Brush my teeth, cool. Cooler than most. Floss better than everyone else. Bathroom break, way cool. Look at me drying my hands. So cool. Eating pasta, cooler than Lady and the Tramp. Sorry, it's When you,
I like that you went to Lady in the Tramp.
Lady in the
Like,
Tramp.
why?
right, I'm sorry.
Well, there's not a lot of famous pasta eating
Yeah.
scenarios,
Right.
unfortunately.
So the original cast of Hadestown, Epic 3, is the only other one that I really wanted to go far into on this one, which is that's a Broadway show. So I was like, okay, as long as I'm going to go into other genres, I'll throw in a Broadway show. Anais Mitchell, do you guys know who she is?
Yeah.
Introduce us.
Yeah.
Okay, she's a singer-songwriter,
Yeah.
and she wrote a musical called Hadestown. It's the story of Orpheus and Eurydice, and this song is at towards the end of the musical. The narrator keeps singing throughout the whole musical this song called Epic, where he sings about Hades, who's the god of the underworld. But Hades in this musical is also a really good depiction of a man where power has changed him. And the fable goes that Hades fell in love with Persephone, right? He brings her down into the underworld. Do you guys know about this myth?
Vaguely.
Okay, so Hades, the god of death, falls in love with the goddess of spring. He ends up pulling her into the underworld. She becomes the queen of the underworld. That's mythology, folks. I didn't write it myself. But so at the very end of this musical, the narrator is singing about Hades and how that beautiful love changed him in that moment from being this hard-hearted king. But then how time went on and he fell back into his hardened ways. And there's just something that's so human about it. And the way that the song kind of paints the corruption and how power changes a person is just really powerful to me. So I thought I would share that with you guys so you could get a taste of some new contemporary musical theater being written. And I mean, I know everyone knows Hamilton, but this is another one. And then the other songs, Crucify Your Mind, Rodriguez is from Detroit. This guy, Rodriguez, was a total flop in the United States, total flop, but he ended up becoming immensely successful in apartheid South Africa. It was the 70s, so yeah.
Was he the guy where he like didn't realize he was famous until somebody
Yeah, he just
about
recently got a Detroit Music Award for just like a lifetime achievement award kind of thing, and that was the first time I had heard his story. He had no idea he was famous in another part of the world.
Is there a documentary called Sugar Man?
Yes!
About
Oh,
him?
you guys do
Is that
know
what this
him!
is?
Yes, this is him!
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen the documentary. I know this guy.
Yeah. Fascinating story, and I just love this song. If you haven't heard it, you should hear it. It's just a great song. His music is great. It's great, great vibes. I like to talk about vibes a lot. It's kind of ridiculous.
Vibes.
I have vibes.
Dopamine by Robin. That's just a funny story. Robin, everybody knows Robin, I would imagine. She's this pop singer who was really famous for, what's that song? Now I'm dancing on my own. Anyway, let's just move on. I was sitting at this really pretentious clothing store that a friend of mine was shopping in. I couldn't afford a damn thing, so I just sat in a chair by the front door. And
this is not my style. I
This
would
is
buy
not-
I would buy 10 of them, but today I will.
Not today.
Not shopping here.
So yeah, I was just kind of sitting at this chair, and the really super too cool for school shopkeepers were like near me and just very much ignoring me. And some song came on and I was humming along with it or whistling or something because I just am too old to care anymore if people don't think I'm cool. And the too cool for school shopkeepers came up and were like, "Oh my God, you know this song?" And we ended up in this whole conversation and we started talking about Robin for some reason. And this shopkeeper who genuinely, guys, it was like someone would come give him clothes and he'd be like, "Okay, yeah, thank you." He's talking to me about Robin and he's like, "Girl, did you hear about her new album? She came out with this new album. It's so great, blah, 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 blah." So I went and listened to the new album and it is in fact great. Robin has come out with a new album. It's really enjoyable. I like Dopamine. Richie, you and I were talking about listening through entire albums, and that's one that I just listened through and I was like, oh, it's actually a really good album to go start to finish. And then the other stuff, most of the other things here are just like great singer-songwriters that I like. Sarah Bareilles, everyone knows her. You might not know this song. It's a really great song she wrote. You Were Mine by Tammy Nielsen. A friend of mine in Austin told me about her. I'd never heard of her before. Richie, I know you love rockabilly music. I would classify her kind of as a rockabilly.
It's your favorite.
You love it. You listen to it right now.
Right.
Okay.
No, but she's got a great voice. You guys should listen to it. She doesn't look anything like what her voice sounds like. I think everyone knows Asha from Nigeria.
Fire on the Mountain.
Asha is a very, very well-known singer-songwriter in Nigeria. Everyone in Nigeria knows about Afrobeats. Everyone outside of Nigeria knows about Afrobeats.
How they do.
Asha is a singer-songwriter, and she is awesome, and she's very successful. But yeah, she's not Afrobeats, so I thought I would throw that in. And then Los Morochucos is a Peruvian band. It's an old school one that I learned about recently at a songwriting workshop. A young kid who was working on like actual metal music randomly started telling me about this Peruvian band. I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's nothing like what you seem to be into. And I love that you're a 14-year-old kid and you're into this. So that's that. Then the last two songs were I just put them in because I think Lake Street Dive is great. I don't know if you guys know them. They're a great band. I think they were an American Music Abroad touring band at one point, or at least Arts Envoy. And the I Love You, It's a Fever Dream came on my playlist this morning when I had my coffee, and I was like, oh, this is very different from everything else on my list, and it's really peaceful and very beautiful. So that's it. That's my list.
That's why you have 11. You broke our 10-song rule.
It was I Love You, It's a Fever Dream. But it's because I love you guys.
Fabulous. Well, thank you, Kate. Again, if you are just checking us out for the first time, go to our Substack or Patreon where we post links to these playlists so you can actually listen to these songs and get to know what Kate is listening to. We have asked the incredible DJ Invisible to come up with 10 songs that he has in his extensive travels from the top of the world to the depths of the street. What music has changed his life, his opinions, what has broken his algorithm. He's stretching out right now because he needs to drop it like it's hot. The needle is about to hit the vinyl. It is DJ Invisible's list, which I don't actually have yet, but here it is.
So let me go ahead and share my list here.
Woo!
Bam.
What?
Oh my
He's even
God!
got
It's so
There we go.
top 10 songs from my tours.
Alrighty, so
Oh, wow. Look at you, man.
Oh my God, you put blank up there.
okay, so let's start at the top.
This
here.
is incredible.
Let's start at the top of the list here. So the top of my list here, the Kuka Tornon song, is a song that I went to Liberia with Farbion. It was one of the State Department funded tours, and we ended up being at the same time they were doing 100 years of U.S. Liberian interaction. And they were talking about all these serious political things that were going on. And they had us down as the musical artist. And it was another one of those cool things like the 4th of July thing where you do this big thing at the NBC and there's all these really important people that are there. And then they were like, okay, Invisible, you just keep going. And I ended up DJing Ambassador's house. Nobody was paying attention to me the whole time. I'm ended up doing my thing. But while we were there, we got a chance to meet up and hang out with a lady. They were calling her Ambassador Julie. And she is basically a cultural ambassador from Liberia. And she's like a big musical deal in the Liberian community. And she introduced us to all these other really cool, awesome Liberian entertainers. And one of them had like this crazy story, and people were telling us the story of how he was a child soldier and this, that, and the other. And we're like, oh my goodness, this is wild. But all the musicians on this song were all rock stars and carried themselves as rock stars. So we did some recordings and we were down there. And then once we got back, we started sending music back and forth to put these songs together. And the whole time I'm getting emails from different musicians like, you need to turn this up. This isn't mixed properly. Add these effects to it. And I was like,
Oh God.
I'm like working on other stuff here. And they were really hitting hard on like, I wasn't mixing things properly, or you dropped this when you shouldn't have, and put this back.
Whoa.
But it ended
Oh my
up like
God.
their interaction and devotion to their project that we were working together on, it came out to be a great song. And like Farbion put this whole album together. And mind you, this was something nobody was going to make any money off of, but they were that vested in it. And Farbion was that into it that they really rode me. Like Farbion was like, did you get your part done yet? I'm like, I got real things I got. I gotta,
I got a cruise ship.
right. Well, this is the electric bill's got to be paid. So DJ has to go scratch these records for this pay. But it all ended up turning into such a great project. And this song is on my like Spotify playlist that I listen to it all the time. This is one of the ones.
Ooh, I'm excited.
And when it comes on, it's my obnoxious voice screaming and shouting. When the kids hear it, they're like, "Oh my goodness!" It makes me feel good too, because when the kids' friends are in the car with me and they hear it, they get excited, like, "Oh wait, this is one of your songs." So that song right there, love that song. So the next one is the Bangla Banger. When we were in Bangladesh, we had a group of like bosses, like everybody there was serious, like. They were,
well, they had that program. The Next Level program was there like 10 years ago and created this entire hip hop culture.
Like one of the guys that was there, he cameoed on this. He ended up being on a big hit song that was, he made it stateside, and he was like the hip hop rock star there, and like Punksta was like the organizer, and he was like one of the OGs. It was just such a great vibe. Yeah. And like everybody had their own different personalities, and they all like have seen and been a part of music in their culture and seen music in our culture and kind of drew different parts of it. And some of them look like they might have been like heavily into West Coast gangster music. There was flags and rags flying, but it was just a great vibe. Like we're walking through the streets making this music video, and it was just like I'm gonna share the YouTube, because all these are on YouTube. I'll share the YouTube clip, so if you get a chance to watch this video, we made the video a couple of years the last Marvel movie came out, and I got access to all the Marvel effects. So
I forgot
when we made I'm like editing the video in my hotel room the night before we had this big presentation, and our big show was on a big stage. In the entire back of the stage was a massive video wall. So I played the video when they performed this song. Oh my goodness, you couldn't tell us we were not the biggest thing in Bangladesh that day. And then during that program, we had El Nino.
Amazing. Yeah.
Dude is like a child celebrity. He ended up being at the Olympics as one of the coaches for the U.S. Olympics. So I'm watching TV, watching the Olympics, and I'm like, that's El Nino. He was part of oh my gosh. So that Bangladesh program to me was like, the program was amazing, but the music that came out of it and the relationships are, like it was just insane. It was crazy. So that was a lot of fun. So moving on.
And you crushed that video. I remember, because I had my own group, and you dropped that video with all these effects, and you're out there filming the thing, and I was like, man,
Richie, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I gotta step my game up.
Coming from the hip hop where everything is a competition, like everything, like all the programs that we did, it all becomes some really cool competition, and the strengths, and you start to learn the strengths and weaknesses of of the other groups. And Richie doesn't show up with very many weaknesses, which makes it extremely hard. So I showed up with all the smoke and mirrors of the editing software that I had. Oh, guys, well, this song might not kill, but you got to throw in the Marvel. Well, look over here. Yeah. So, there's certain things that just like that really help. Okay, so moving forward to I Love Music. That was one of the that was coming out of COVID. I had a bunch of artists, and they were from all over the continent of Africa. Everyone sent in a little bit of music, and I had a track. The track went out. They all sent in their clips of them performing over the track. And some of them were them performing with like a Walkman or a boombox, and they were singing over it. And I took all those clips and threw them into Logic over the actual track, and it was able to extract their vocals and suppress, smoke and mirrors and puppet mastering. And I mean, you guys remember that during COVID, and we were trying to put together songs, and before everyone had access to some kind of you were just doing the best you could with whatever was
Winging it.
sent in off of a cell phone.
Yep.
So
I remember
that
that.
I
Even
Love
I had to do
Music
that.
was one of the first ones. And I made a music video out of it just with whatever we had. So that was
Birds
a
flying.
fun one for me.
Carl, are these on, is this on Spotify?
No, these are not on Spotify.
Okay.
The videos are all on
Okay.
YouTube.
Well, for everybody out there, we will put together a special YouTube playlist that has all these on there
Yeah.
as well. And Kate, you and I can maybe put together a YouTube playlist as well.
Mhm.
I know.
So moving on to the next one, the Headed for the Cream. That was another one. It's like we did a program virtually with a bunch of Kenyan artists, and I got some rappers, and they were serious about their flow. And we put some beats together, and they all sent me like various different ways. I got MP3s of vocals and then a music video of them walking down the street, and we put it together, and that was a dope song because it had some changes and transitions, and the artists that were that were there were cool. And then other cool things, some of them ended up coming to another program, so I met a couple of them, and because they were on that song, got invited to other things that I wasn't at. So some of these songs have been launching pads for some of the artists to be a part of other programs where they actually got
Oh,
paid to
cool.
perform.
That's right.
And then I told all of them, save these things. These are now your audition tapes for your local festivals. So I know a couple of the participants, Slicky Berry.
Slicky Berry,
Slicky
yeah.
Berry.
He's still putting it out.
Yeah, he's still
just
sending
texted through
Yeah,
another.
he's still sending dope stuff out. So, some of them are able to use these things as like a platform, and using our names as like a reference. Like I still tell people I toured with Snoop, and that helps open doors for me, So them saying they work with DJ Invisible, I'm like, it might not open a door, but it may open a cupboard or a closet. So moving on to the Unity mixtape was an opportunity given to me to take 50 artists that were going to be a part of this Uganda program. All 50 of them sent me something, and I had to make all 50 songs mix into
right.
one thing. And to
I
me,
don't remember this.
that was epic. So the Unity mixtape was put out in
Whoa.
2 parts. So that both clips are on YouTube, and I took all of the content and I actually had to make it like a mixtape. So I was blending the songs, the little clips that they gave me over one beat, and dropping the bass out of some stuff to get it to mix. I'm speeding things up, trying to keep the pitch together to make one solid thing. And then moving on to the next one here, the Yali Artist Showcase. Yali stands for Young African Leader Initiative. And that was big for me because once I found out who was submitting music, I was like, oh my goodness, why this is beyond my talent level. This was some of the largest African artists at the time, that bunch of them were like legit touring artists. These artists were like all like legit rock stars, and they're sending me their music. I'm looking them up. I'm like, shit, you guys need Quincy Jones to be doing this. Why?
That's such a funny point. I think it happens to a lot of musicians. Well, if you keep going long enough, you get into rooms where you're not the top in the room anymore,
Right.
and you got to pretend
That you should
or
be
you
there.
got to make it work.
Yeah, So I've always bought into the fake it till you make it thing, and I'm going to do the best that I can possibly do. I am going to ask for help where I need help, and I am going to do this because now I can say that I worked with these amazing artists. So that project there was, when I sent that off, I slept so good that night because prior to it, I was on like nervous mode. Yeah, I was like, come on, Carl, you got it. So that was a big one. Wordsmith was the host of that. He was like co-host with me on that mixtape. The next one, the Hello Indian Power, was
Yes.
we were getting, oh my goodness. So I was given the opportunity, I was given the ask, bring your hip hop group to this program. Like, oh, and I was like, of course. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm trying to put my group together, and I just called my hip hop friends. So I called Richie and Mark And I called Miss Corona and presented the opportunity to her, and she was very excited about it. So I was like, we're looking good here. And so I wanted to add a dancer. Usually that they didn't send dancers in this. So Hans became a background vocalist.
Hans!
He was a dancer, but listed as a background vocalist. And
No way.
then when we gave Hans a mic, he turned into a monster.
He crushed
So
it.
he learned the background vocals to all of Corona's songs and did her ad libs out every show. So that was dope on a whole nother link.
I actually met Hans in Egypt right after he did this with you guys in India. We were partnering on a musical theater program to do Hamilton, and Hans was doing the choreography for it. And anyway, Hans was telling, like, has this huge career doing dance crew stuff. So to hear that he was actually
Hans
a good
is like
singer
one of the characters
too, like,
that if you ask him, like, hey, Hans, I need a B-boy, no problem. He can break dance. He can spin on his head, do all that stuff. Hey, Hans, typical Broadway dancer that can do ballet. And then he shows spin on his and touches toes, hand.
Could you also tell us a little bit about Ms. Corona for people listening
so
and don't know?
if you're
who
not
she is?
familiar with Miss Corona is she got popular being on. She was an artist that was in the 8 Mile movie. So she had been rapping underground in the city of Detroit in these same battle rap circles as Eminem and D12 and King Gordy and all these like staples of the Detroit battle rap community. She was there and she held her own amongst the guys in this whole thing. And she was shredding most of them up. So when it came time to cast the 8 Mile movie, like all the homies were like, if you need somebody to do it, put her in this movie. And she was in the lunch truck scene early on in the movie. So it's her, and Exhibit in one of the early scenes in that 8 Mile movie. And it kind of launched her into popularity. Like everybody knew when we did these tours, she was the most popular person everywhere we went because that movie blew up and it was a hip hop staple. Going back to the Invisibles, that was like my opportunity to just take some of my friends on the road. And we started trying to put some songs together. So we kind of put together a slew of our own. Everybody threw something in the pot. And it worked out perfectly because we all started learning each other's songs. And then it was just like the Wu-Tang Clan. You know, you do a song, you do a song, you do a song, and we'll do some group stuff. Hello Indian Power was actually a DJ Invisible production. Mark played a lot of the instrumentation on it, and I shuffled the coconuts. And our friend Mia Stallone said hello in every Indian dialect. And we use that as the vocal. It's hello.
That's the hook. Yeah.
So that was that song. Super cool song. Had a blast doing it.
Well, because they asked too. They're like, oh, since you guys are a band, send us your tracks.
Yeah.
And we're like,
yeah, we sent the yeah.
Richie, isn't our opening music one of the tracks that you were going to use for that?
I had written a couple of beats for when we went to Ethiopia.
Oh, it's Ethiopia.
And one of the ones we didn't use was
okay. That's now our podcast opener.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Still doing it. Still good. So this next song was introduced to me by a very famous singer-songwriter who, when I met her, she was super humble and humble. She was so humble, and it was almost like she didn't want to share her talent. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I apologize. I threw you on the spot because I did what every artist hates for someone to do to them. So everybody's in the room, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, an opera singer, sing opera.
Oh, God, yeah. Ugh.
And in hindsight...
And you're like finishing your beer.
In hindsight, jerk thing to do, because that's like something up to you. Hey, Richie, rap. And you're like...
Because that's the thing, like, if you do it really well, then everyone thinks you're full of yourself. And if you do it really badly, then everyone's like, oh, well, she's not that good. And then you're in this position where you're like, I can't be casual, I can't be formal, I'm just trapped.
That was my own social
nothing
awkwardness.
I can do.
So anyway, I ended up falling in love with that song. That song is in my Spotify regular playlist. And
wait, you're not your sleepy playlist?
Well, that's this. I only have one. It's it's Carl's travel playlist.
Look at me. I've made it big. I've made it big. You know, Spotify is really humbling because I'm pretty sure I still don't have over 1,000 streams of that song.
Let's see, can you tell?
I'm pretty sure.
No, I can't tell on my.
And probably most of them are coming from
Oh, because
you
it
anyway.
plays once or twice a day. So anyway, now when I'm in the car and it comes over, the kids have gone. We know that's your friend Kate. Okay, and then every now and then, Cree is my youngest. Cree will say, "Oh, Dad, isn't this your friend Kate?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then she's just hating me, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, so you know, okay, cool, all right." So yeah. So and the funny thing is, I start
That's really
singing it,
sweet.
and I'm like, "Let me turn Kate up and me down because I don't, I just blink when you."
Carl, did I ever tell you the story about that song? Basically, the music I write is all just not pop music. Not because I don't want to be pop. I don't know. I guess I'm not cool. But anyway, I was playing at a bar called Hotel Cafe in Los Angeles, which is like relatively well-known Hollywood music venue. And there was a guy at one of my shows, and he came up to me after and he was like, "I'm a talent scout for a new NBC TV show called Songland." And I was like, "A talent scout? Television?" And he was like, "Yeah, I love your stuff. I'm going to send it to the team." I think Songland didn't even end up airing because there were all these issues with rights. They were like trying to take all the rights away from the artists or something. I don't know. But anyway, I got an email from him. Like, I thought maybe he was full of crap. I got an email from him a week or two later being like, "The whole team has listened. They've been passing it around the office. We love it so much, but it's a little bit jazzy. It's a little cerebral." And I was like, "Okay."
All right,
and he
thanks.
was like, could you write a mainstream pop tune?" And I was like, "Okay, I didn't know my music wasn't made." Okay. So then I went back and I just took, the most basic pop progression I could think of, da, 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 da. I think it's just 1 4 5 1 the whole time. And anyway, to me, it was not one of my better tunes, but hilariously, they were like, "This is exactly what we want."
I love that freaking song. When I'm performing and I'm looking out at somebody and I'm watching them actively hate me on stage because they are not interested in either one.
It makes you think of me,
Well,
right?
no, I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
soon as you blink, because I'll be gone. And it makes me happy.
I'm very honored.
Yes.
It's so
I love
funny.
that. Moving along. So this song, Francis by Evan Kennedy, we were on tour with Snoop and name drop.
Yeah,
when I
no,
was
that's
on tour-
awesome.
Anybody I've heard
I
of?
I was on tour
Yeah.
with Snoop 12, Ice Cube, Cypress Hill, and The Game. So happened to be hanging out with an Irish group of lads who were the opening act on the tour. And their DJ at the time was this dude named Evan. Now, Evan, he was just the DJ slash producer, super cool, laid back. He was like a house music producer. And he made these up-tempo beats for the rap to funk now. Sponsored by, what's the boxer's name? Irish boxer.
Oh, Evan McGregor?
Yeah, Colin McGregor.
How do you know that?
Colin McGregor.
So, no, is it
How
Colin
do you
McGregor?
know that?
Hang on.
McGregor's the last
McGregor.
name, right? Yeah. So he was putting together this record label. Conor McGregor.
Sorry.
He was putting together a record label who was putting these guys on. So Evan was the DJ and the producer for the group. And he was making these up-tempo songs. And then one day we ended up in Ireland on a D12 tour. So we go to the studio and we're hanging out. And he plays me the song that sounds nothing like anything that he had been producing for this band. And the song was beautiful, and it's just him singing. Now, if you guys heard me singing, you'd be like, "Okay, Carl, you should stick to what you're doing." But like hearing him actually just sing was amazing. And then he put together a small video, and I'm in the video on stage doing cutting and
Yes.
scratching. Like musically, I'm not a part of the song. I'm not in the song, but I made the video because I made an impact on him and what he felt as though a DJ stage show should be. And the song has made it into my playlist because the song is freaking awesome. It's not hip hop. It's just a song that should have been more popular than it really was had someone believed in it and pushed it out there. So if you get a chance to listen to it, it's so, I love it. And
Amazing.
the last song on my list is a song by, his name is Young PHX, short for Phoenix. His last name is, I'm a little bit familiar with him because basically raised this kid in his musical journey. And this particular song that he wrote He was 15 years old, going on 16, and he sat in his room an entire, little EP. He wrote the song, and I loved it. It's a song. It's a young love song from a high school kid who had his first breakup. And in hearing it, it's like you get it. Do I still love? I don't know. I'm conflicted. Tenant of your own heart, I got evicted. And you're like, wow. And like,
Ooh, that's a good
yeah. And like coming from a kid. And over the next couple years, the song became infectious to us. The tragedy behind this song is I paid for the song to be on all the social media platforms. And then I got a cease and desist letter from some company that was trying to sue me for having the song out. They claimed rights to it on YouTube. So come to find out, there was some company, and that was they were bottom around to all the small labels claiming their music on YouTube. You had to pay them to leave it up or take it down. So we had to call a senator and get the powers that be. But at that time, the song had 5,000 views on YouTube, and I had to take it down or everything else that I had on my YouTube channel was going to be crushed. Lived on Spotify for some years, and then the artist decided to take a trip to play lacrosse and changed his name from Young PHX to Not the Phenom, and he started acting and kind of put his music career on hold.
So he took it off?
You can still find the video on YouTube, but the song is no longer living on Spotify or streaming platforms. And this rascal that I'm talking about is actually my son.
I was like, I don't want to give this away, but
so yeah, it's a fun song. It is a fun little breakup song.
That's cool. That must be a cool feeling too, because you've been in music for your life basically, and then to make a person, and then he starts making music.
My goodness.
I don't know. It's like kind of family business feeling. Must feel cool.
It is. So early on in his musical journey, he was 6 years old, and it was during the summer. I took him on tour with me. Being a young dad, Phoenix needed a daycare, so his daycare was get on the tour bus. Here's your bunk. You're now on the road.
Tour kid.
So he traveled with us for the summer, like 2 summers in a row. He was basically a roadie, and we figured out how to incorporate him into the show. So we gave him a junior Fender Strat and would push him out on stage doing a Jimi Hendrix bit. And he's such a ham, so he was born into it. He was no longer afraid of big crowds by the age of 6. So he just has always been comfortable on stage and in front of large groups of people. So him being a ham is totally organic now.
Yeah, well, he
didn't even fall from the tree.
The way you support your kids and prop them in, and with the people that you've toured with and the life that you've had as a musician, I think that's a cool thing.
Like my mother reminds me, she tells me that you told me as a little kid you wanted to play for a living, and that's kind of what we get a chance to do. And it was just like when you started explaining Greek mythology, and it started like I was a member of the Junior Classical Society when I was in high school.
I don't know. I could have been wrong.
Right?
This might be edited out.
Yeah. No, and I don't remember most of it because it's been years and years and years. But Miss Yanku would be very frustrated that I don't remember anything other than how to say hello, which is Salve. And Salve Magistra is hello, teacher.
Look,
that's
impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, totally dead. Yeah, that's my flex for the entire show.
Yeah.
Richie knows how to say Georgia and Georgian, and you know how to say
Right.
You know what, Carl, though, that's like, I'm really curious. So we told you we wanted you to give us your songs, your top songs from your tours and your cultural stuff. But now after all of this, I'm curious, you've got your boat gig, you've got your life as a DJ for all these famous artists. What are you just listening to right now? Like, what are some songs that you've just been playing,
goodness. Yeah, and I've got such a wacky, so I'll go down to the last couple songs that I've added. The name of the song is Bone, and it's by a singer named Monrovia.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that is such a dope song. And because I think we've traveled and gone to some of these interesting places, I have found my algorithm has figured out that I like weird stuff. So last year I was on the lake
He
and
lives on a lake, ladies and gentlemen. He has a swan boat.
eh, I'm a the kids have started to call me a bot. Like you are a bot, and I'm like, what does that mean? And she's like, you're like a cartoon character that just exists in real life. And she's like, you have a giant swan boat. Like I was like, okay, I get it. I'm having fun. So anyway, long story short, the song is by VJ and Sophie Zlatako, and the song is "World of Colors." And it is just happy music. They made these happy songs. Turnstile is another band that I've really been, I know they did some like crazy Tiny Desk that got them real popular where they like stage dive. They have a song called Never Enough that's super dope. They're
That's
just
awesome.
really a lot of fun. Yeah.
Give us a
I'm
couple
all-
more.
I'm
Give us a
little
couple more.
all
This is
over the
fun.
place. Oh, this is easy. So
Richie's at the red.
Bad Bunny's performance. Yeah, Bad Bunny's performance. Loved it. And then some of the songs were so theatrically performed during the Super Bowl, I looked them up and was like, okay, now it's reminding me, it's more sense listening to the song and then seeing some of the backstories. So the song DTMF
Oh yeah, I love that.
of Bad Bunny. The D12 song Tenderism with Method Man is on my
I
list.
was hoping you'd give us
I
one.
love the song. Like Meth kills it on that song. Jeez. There's a song by a group called Goldfish, Moonwalk Away. It's just another fun song. Like after having to play music that everyone else wants to hear. So when I go to a party and I'm curating the songs, I'm looking at the crowd and I'm trying to figure out what I can play to make them dance. So there are certain songs that I have burnt out that on my off time when I'm off the clock and it's Carl doesn't want to hear certain songs
Right.
anymore because I've played them too many times. So like Death Cab for Cutie, Soul Meets Body, love that song.
I can't believe that's one of your songs. You're talking about Method Man
Totally.
and D12, and then you go to Soul
And I
Meets
just,
Body. Oh my god.
there it is. Death Cab for, yeah, there's more. Oh my gosh. So you might appreciate this one, or you might think that I'm just ridiculously corny. This is where I lose the kids.
That's fine. I'd appreciate
One
it.
of my favorite movies of all time
Great.
is The Greatest Showman. So The Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman, the story behind it and like the song The Greatest Showman, I was playing that before walking on stage. Like I'm in the dressing room and I'm looking at the clock, like you got 5 minutes to go on stage. What do you play to hype yourself up? I'm playing The Greatest Showman soundtrack because it's like da 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 da. Oh, and I'm just envisioning myself being carried out to the stage now on elephants. Like I am getting ready to go tear it down. I have a top hat. Like I am 100% ready to rock now, having heard this song. So The Greatest Showman soundtrack.
That's amazing. We were just talking about that, Richie, weren't we? What was yours?
What?
You had
Hugh Jackman?
a hype up song.
Oh yeah,
also had
I
a
haven't
weird
put it to
one.
the list yet, but it's called Jaguar by What So Not.
Oh.
It's this. I don't know if you've ever come across it, Carl. It's definitely a big drop dance style song. But
Guys, I don't have a hype up song.
Yeah.
I don't have a hype up
Oh my
song.
god. So
you were not to categorize you too closely to what you are, but you don't really have like a big jumping around music. Yeah, I think you're
Oh, you mean my personal
Your-
music?
personal.
Oh
yeah.
yes, yeah.
Kate Bass
Yeah.
goes on stage. She's not
Not
like,
like,
let's get ready to. It's
I thought you meant me as a person.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's the piano tuned. Yeah.
oh my god, that would be so
actually, I
awesome.
do
Everyone
have a
would be
hype
so
up
freaked
song
out.
then. When I have to sing opera, there is an aria called Juliet's Waltz that starts out going. That's how it starts. And when I was in, I know, I just dropped it. When I was in college, I couldn't sing high notes, and I would go, for years. And so, in like most singers will do, like classical singers would do warm ups, like do 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 do, like before they go on the stage. But for me, this is a true story. Before any performance where I have to sing opera, I sing through that aria 3 times every single time, because if I can hit those notes, I can sing anything. So there's my hype up song.
Richie, Richie, I'm going to start using the word aria now because I now feel as though it can be a flex because people are going to be like, so what do you do to get hyped up for a song? And instead of me telling them I sing the song to Annie, which I actually do.
Really? It's a Hard Knock Life?
No, actually, the song
The new
Annie,
Annie.
the new,
Yeah.
she has a song called Opportunity. That is my second hype up
Okay.
song. So if I'm not in the mood to stage dive, I sing.
That's your hype up aria.
Under the glow of the very
Yes.
bright lights.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh, this song is so chill. I played it before we went on stage at one of the D12 shows, and they all looked at me like, we're second guessing this.
Wait,
Wow.
Carl, do you really listen to this before you go out for like stadium shows with these big hip hop legends? Is that true? Is that a
Yeah.
true story? That's
Yeah, that
actually
is-
like
yeah.
a really powerful thing
yeah.
to know. I love that.
That, ladies and gentlemen, this Grammy is to DJ Invisible for being the biggest
Oh,
cornball
man.
ever.
We've made a category.
Made a
just,
category.
We've made a category.
It's amazing.
And I started listening to that before going on some of the Snoop shows. Because some of them, there's so much chaos going on.
Yep.
This is it before I go out to the chaos.
Wow.
Like, it's been chaotic backstage. I need to take a breath and get it together. And there's thousands of people out there are like, bruh,
Well,
this is how people know you now.
you would never guess,
Yeah.
never in a million years, that the DJ for Snoop Dogg would be listening to that song before you go on stage. It's cool. Like humans
they're
are so
certain.
complicated. We're so surprising. We're
Right.
not
Well, DJ Invisible, we can't thank you enough for coming on. We hope you listen to all of these playlists and get an idea of how to break the algorithm, just like DJ Invisible had. Obviously, Spotify has no idea what
to do with
send
him.
anymore, and that's what we
Yeah.
want. We want everything to music has been such a benefit to our lives and our travels and meeting these amazing people, and we want to share that with the rest of the world. And maybe if we get this chance to kind of prop up some of the amazing artists that will never be on Spotify or never hit your algorithm. So thank you very much to DJ Invisible for joining us on Entry Points Radio.
But it's all fun to hang out with you guys. We hung out at the equator together, friends for life.
We did.
They don't even know.
Both sides of the
Nobody
world
even
at
knows.
the same time.
Yeah, people don't even know. Longitude and latitude have
Nothing on
us.
us. We go this way, we
Nothing.
go that way. Yeah.
Right.
Prime Meridian.
We will be in two hemispheres in the same day.
Yeah.
The weirdest flexes
driving on
ever.
the highway.
Like, we've been in two hemispheres the same day. Have you? Everybody there is like,
Yes.
literally, that's kind of what
Yeah, we live on
We
it.
live here. Yeah.
It's just
Sorry.
Earth, bro.
Right. It's just, yeah. So, cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to Entry Points Radio. You can find the full playlist and connected links for this episode in the show notes. Subscribe for behind the scenes, playlist archives, and more at our Substack and Patreon. Your support makes our work possible. Follow us on Instagram at Entry Points Radio. If something in the episode opened a door for you, send it to a friend. That's the whole point. We'll be back next week with more music beyond the algorithm.